Okay, starting this vlog off way late. It's Friday, actually, the Friday the 14th. And this is going to be a little bit different because I have to go take a very long trek to go visit my dad. Not just for Father's Day and such, but his gaming PC blew up. Perfect timing, right? Yeah, motherboard, CPU, something. But I have to drive good 10 hours plus. So I'm all loaded up. I already picked up all the, the new components and such for this build. But I need to get on the road. Left to go. Oh, 4 hours in and finally starting to hit traffic. Got about 8 more hours to go. So we're a third of the way there. Oh. Finally leaving the home state. Uh-oh, we're slowing down. No! We're finally at 40 miles an hour. Don't slow down. West Virginia. And we're crossing into Ohio. Just hitting Cleveland right now. Immediately getting stopped up. Seems a lot of road work. But yeah. Cleveland, and supposedly 5 hours and 20 minutes left. One hour left, roughly. Depends on how all this road work goes, but my eyes are burning. My contacts are not happy, and I have to pee so badly. Holy crap! All of the urine, all of it is inside of me, and it wants out. And we can't go the speed limit right now because of all the road work and one lane. That's awesome. We're almost there. All right, well, I'm at my dad's place. I've been brought out here because his main machine has died. And if this looks a little familiar to you, it's because it's almost identical to my den PC. Different case, different, same internal. But it is old, and it finally either killed its motherboard or its CPU. He's brought me out here to rebuild it, make it an epic game machine again. First things first, we gotta tear it down and dust it out. Now what died on this is all of a sudden it was spitting out a 00 error code on its LED readout, which is down there. That means CPU not found. Tried swapping out the power, clearing the CMOS, short of reseating the CPU. Occasionally the motherboard would start sending different codes, but then reboot itself a couple times and end up back at 00. Because of that, and the age of the machine, I mean, these are two 970, GTX 970s. Definitely old at this point. Because of that, we are just replacing pretty much everything. I don't trust the power supply. That could have fried the board or the motherboard. I don't trust the motherboard. There's no point in getting a new CPU. This is probably a 5850, maybe a 67 100K. Yeah, it's outdated. So let's just swap it all out. All the hard drives are fine. It's old enough to still have a DVD player, but the cooler's gotta go, CPU's gotta go, RAM's gotta go, video cards are being updated, motherboard's gotta go, and the power supply has to go. And we're gonna give it a nice RGB finish too. Now, we'll be smart. We're actually keeping the GPUs around. One might go with me, the other will probably stay here. That way, if there's ever a problem with a video card on these two systems that are here, they have a temporary card they can throw in until a replacement can be brought, or for error checking. That's partly why we keep extra parts around. We can problem check, and we can have a stopgap while we wait for new parts. So don't laugh at your computer component hoarder. There's a reason. That's gonna shake that like crazy. Come on, release. Thank you. Oh, mother of all dust. Hello.
The power supply?
No, the CPU cooler.
Oh yeah, that'll cut down the efficiency.
Yeah, I wonder. Oh, it's matted cat hair.
Could have all added to it, I guess.
Yeah, age of the system, and yeah, I'll have to set up a easy way for you to temperature monitor. Oh, you can see the hard drive now, the one that was hidden under the video card. Oh, that'd do it too. It did not properly spread the.
Wow, and we did it.
Yeah.
So this thing was set up to fail. Amazing it run this long.
I did cooling temps on it too, so it and stress test loads, so it obviously got enough cooling. Well, we won't have to worry about that with this install unless I screw up the cooler install the first time, because it comes with thermal paste already applied. You sure you didn't sabotage this just so I'd be here for Father's Day?
I'm not saying. Couldn't it just be I wanted a new computer? I could have savaged it.
Well, that would do it.
It would. Sabotaged it. So I get both worlds. New computer and my son for Father's Day. Because it's sad that that's the only way I can get you here.
Oh, I'm not the one that moved 900 miles away.
True. You know what they say.
Distance makes the farts grow stronger. Because it seems to be true. Oh, butt nuggets. Oh, there we go.
Butt nuggets?
Yep.
Let's see now. Let's look at this situation. Who has the girlfriend? Oh.
Well, I got no response to that.
On that note,
back to the task at hand. Oh, poor choice of words.
you just leave the memory card on there until you want to use it, or?
Yeah, it might be easier to. Well, let's see. Oh yeah, you see the hard drive?
That's what I meant. I said memory card, hard drive.
Yeah, just leave it on. We don't want it floating around and get lost. Could you put this like on the desk or something? Give them a lovely hand for Rolock, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Here's that rat nest I was talking about that when replacing the fans would be interesting.
Oh yeah. Actually, this gives you a little room in the back there for you to be able to squeeze it in.
Yep, that's where I get it, people.
Is that that's the bad one? Isn't
Yeah, that's
isolated.
Noisy McFace.
He also moved to the slower, so it was obviously the bearing was going. It was moving at a slower revolution.
That noise that you were hearing is indicative of. It's what you hear when a bearing off.
Yeah. Well, usually these things are pretty.
Oh yeah.
Free flowing. Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, much better.
See the difference? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Everything must go. I feel like I'm dismembering a body, placing the it's an autopsy. I need like one of those audio recorders. Patient obviously suffered from dustitis.
It's sad seeing this torn apart. You'd say it's about 3 years old?
4, probably. closing in on 4. The components at least are 4 to 5 years
I
old.
wish I could find out.
Considering it was a high performance gaming rig, it had a pretty good run. Oh, you know what? That's gonna be an absolute pain in the Let's get rid of it. I'm gonna have to censor this video a lot. Now I don't have to feel like I'm giving your computer a rectal exam. Even the little red cat made that joke when I was working on her machine. And I was just like, oh, it's like I'm, didn't she look back there as I'm trying to get out the power cables to connect them? She's like, oh my God, it does. It is. Now that we've pretty much removed everything, we need to go dust off what little dust is on the case, but also the fan filters and everything else. So, power supply installed. All right, MSI MEG Z390 ACE. Don't know why they call it MEG, probably short for Mega, in which case, just call it Mega.
Cursory looked at it. I didn't have to. Did you throw that away for that?
Effect. That's the old.
The other one.
Yeah, and this board is newer and high level enough that it comes built in now.
Is that going to fit?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's a standard size. As long as it can fit in ATX, MATX, ITX, EATX, it will fit. The little LED section right here, it should light up in fancy colors and everything. And an M.2 shield, nice. So that'll help keep the hard drive cool. All right, so we're going with the Core i9 9900K.
They're going in first?
Technically second. I'm third. I want to save it to last because I have to install the cooler into the machine first or the motherboard into the case first. When it is protected as possible for a bit here. So I'm actually going to hold off on the CPU until it's time, and then let's get the old hard drive on there. Assistant, could you bring me the old motherboard, please? Oh wow, they went full thermal paste with that.
With what?
It's actually got a peel off thermal pad.
For the hard drive?
Yeah.
You have to clean it?
No.
Did you bring any cleaner with you? Alcohol?
I forgot the alcohol. We shouldn't need it though. Worst comes to worst, we'll just go to a drugstore.
Drugstore, yeah.
1 terabyte SSD, that tiny. Okay, wow, double-sided plate for that. Interesting. Oh, okay. Why would you build it like that? All right, that's a new thing. I'm going to investigate that quick in the manual. All right, so we're skipping the M.2 shield. There's scuttlebutt that really doesn't do much. There isn't much in the way of point of doing it. So we're not. Especially because they gave 3 pads and it does not make any sense as to if it's double-sided SSD, use both pads. If it's single-sided SSD, take off the second pad. Put on the third pad, put on the first pad, then reapply the second pad. What? World's tiniest screw. It doesn't screw in. All right, so it's got to be in the motherboard box. It's got to be this.
So it looks like an operating theater.
Yeah, with all the lights.
Nurse, hand me my switchblade.
Nurse, mop my brow. Mop it good.
Mop your own brow.
Well, as in most cases, size matters. That screw was too small.
So the new one works?
Yeah. This is the one from the old motherboard. And it was considerably smaller, so that works. Tram time. More jokes. Going with Trident Z, DDR4, PC 3200. 2 sticks of 16. A bit overkill, but overkill is good.
32 total.
Mm-hmm.
What's the max?
On here, probably 128.
Are we doing 128?
Because you will never, you'll barely ever do 32. Yep, DIM 2. Oh, they were nice and actually printed it on the board this time. So DIM 2 and DIM 4. Never thought I'd see the day you got into RGB.
Why is that?
Because appearance, well, it was more important that it worked and worked well than that it looked, you know, raving awesome. And then I was like, well, it might blend in with your game room a bit more and everything. Okay, yeah, RGB. All right, let's crack open this dodecahedron here without breaking it somehow.
It's paper.
Is it?
Good paper.
Oh yeah. Oh. That better go back together properly. More tape, and more tape. Before you can use our CPU, you must pass this test. Clap 2, you're out 10.
I said it.
I said the words! There you go.
Is that the CPU in there?
Mm-hmm.
Smaller than the other?
In this case, size is relative. The other one was a 2011 V3 chip. 2011 being how many pins, so that was the socket. This is an 1151. So much smaller, but much faster. Much faster. Release the docking clamps.
Release the Kraken.
Safety shield off. Open plastic.
Which direction does it go?
Well, it's got a convenient arrow for that. To the other arrow, which is, yep, this little, it's technically not an arrow, it's a little dot right there. So that, the little arrow on the chip here lines up with that. And it will only go in one way. So if it's not seating, you have it the wrong way. Place down the retention arm. There we go. Bada bing, bada boom. Get the f out of here. Now, slide this on in. Now this case has a nice little plastic prong here to help line it up. Normally a screw would go in here. This is a much better compromise because now you know you've got it lined up and it's going to hold it there while we get the rest of the screws in. Never over tighten them, especially at the beginning. Just get them a bit seated. You don't want to flex the board. All right, now we hand tighten, not over tighten all the screws. Yeah.
Drop the screwdriver in the middle of the motherboard.
It's okay. It's all right. I'm pretty sure best way to go about this is to put the cooler
In the front.
in the front. This needs to get removed. How am I even able to do that now? Remove these fans. Every single example I saw of this case with a cooler in it had it up top.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
Go back up top.
Yep. If we end up with less than ideal temps, we'll swap it. All right. Now for the cooler, which I've already opened before. I was looking to see if it had a RGB control hub or not. It does not. Size matters. Yeah, it's a double. It's a little put, because this is going to run hotter than the old CPU did. Plus, this will fit a little bit better in the schema, and it's RGB. Everything, even this will be RGB now. And controllable, so you can set up your own profiles and themes as to what color you want. Sometimes, and when. Like, oh, I've opened this game, be this color. It's running hot, go red. It's middle temperature, go yellow. Before I do that, because that's going to be difficult to get at the next spot, we're going to install one of these RGB fans, the top two. Cool looking fans, huh? So the blades light up and can be individually addressed, and so does the ring around it.
That's weird.
And it should be magnetic web. So, feel how smooth and noiseless.
Yeah. That is impressive. Whoa! That would have been catastrophic.
Don't do that.
fall right into the computer.
Yeah. All right, so need to attach the back plate before we move on to the rest. No, let's get that cooler anchored first. We can worry about back plate and everything after. Yeah, they recommend it as an air intake. All right, slight change of plans. So now, because that's going to be half blocked anyway, and these are going to be mounted on the bottom of the radiator, unlike the other ones, which are on the other side quite often, we are going to go ahead and put in the non-lit fan up top here. This will end up in the back. I just gotta...
It's stymied.
I'm still thinking. Step 1, remove the front fans.
Is it going to work?
I had a brainwave. Leave, once I mount this again, because the fans are going to be mounted on the inside of the radiator, not the front of the radiator, put these back on. It'll be a push-pull config.
Put fans on both sides?
Yeah, that's actually a very common radiator design.
Huh, okay.
So then we'll have extra power pushing it through.
So you're going to have the LGB or whatever ones on the inside or outside?
The inside. Because you wouldn't really see them anyway.
Through the mesh one.
Yeah. Oh, and we may not need the mesh.
Right.
You would see them through the mesh. If that ends up becoming a thing, I can show you how to swap those with some RGB fans.
Where's the pump for this thing?
Hmm?
Where's the pump for
Oh, it's in the actual head of the unit.
Oh, is it?
Well, that should be on either side of it. So yeah, that'll work. A little bit of new ground here. For me, anyway. It's usually why these builds take a little bit longer than expected, because you never know. Oh. Okay. Whoa, whoa. Back on the table, you piece of crap.
You got it figured out?
Yep. Mostly. See radiator lines up there?
Mm-hmm.
And then, these bad boys.
Those are the ones over there before.
Mm-hmm. So we will have a push-pull, and if you decide to get the mesh later and you want, these are easily swappable with 140 millimeter RGB fans. And just plug them into the hub and we should be golden. Okay, so let's make sure these will go on without killing anything. These should straddle the radiator, actually. Now, additionally, because this is going to end up being our only intake, what I'm going to go ahead and do is, in System Properties, make sure these fans run at 100% speed always, as long as they're not too noisy. Okay, front fans are on, radiator's mounted, so now we attach these puppies.
Puppies!
Puppies!
It's so fluffy!
That is too much space.
Smaller screwdriver?
No, it's, I was just worried the screws were too long. I don't want them to bite into the fins, and they look too long. But that's what they show. That just worries the absolute out of me.
Why?
Because if it goes too far, it'll penetrate the fins
Fins of the cool?
of the radiator and
Yeah.
But this is what they gave. I'm gonna Google that. I don't want to accidentally pop your radiator. All right, so I've never run into it before, but apparently the screws being too long is a known thing and is not really an issue. This whole cooler setup is going contrary to everything I know about coolers, honestly, because everything I know says you should push the air through the radiator, and this is set up to pull it. If I'm a little scatterbrained, it's possibly got something to do with the 14-hour drive I had yesterday to get here. There we go.
Blah, blah, blah.
And if it ends up
Smaller than the average man.
Smarter than the average baby.
Boo boo.
Boo boo. Yeah, well, bear, boo boo. So next is we need to mount the cooler. And to do that, we've got this back plate here. This back plate goes right on here and keeps it from bending. This is what the actual cooler attaches to. This keeps it from bending, the board, and all sorts of bad things. Put that in there, if I remember correctly, and I don't. These are the standoffs. They go through these little holes, these receptacles that have been made by the backplate. They create the standoffs. Once you attach these and hold the backplate in place. Also, what the thumb screws attach to when we put this on.
Now what are you doing? Just putting it onto the...
Yep, it's mountain time. I already did the back plate. Now it's time to put the cooler on. Okay, cooler's on.
Did you get off the highway, like, right over on South?
Yeah,
So, yeah, you didn't come to town.
yeah, it was telling me that, I guess that's versus.
Oh, yeah.
So I took, because Maps was saying if I took it would add 20 minutes, and I had to pee like crazy. I'm not adding 20 minutes. I got out of the car and Dad's like, oh, you want to start unloading? And after we said, I'm like, I've got to pee. Let me pee. So mounting the fans. Got the old one back in here. Not RGB. There should be enough RGB in this case though. But yeah, it's a vent, an exhaust, and so will these three. Fans installed.
Those are all blowing out?
Yep, out, out, in. That would be out. All right, power supply time.
But you put the power supply in already.
The cabling though.
Ah, the fun time.
Yeah!
Then we find all the holes.
They're all labeled, which is unusual in the universe. Modular cables are awesome when they go in their holes. God, like I said, not the most stable tripod in existence. Oh, I don't need to. They do have the power buttons. Great, so I can test this out. All right, there is power to the board. We're going to do a power test for all of the fans and everything else. Knock on wood. Now I'm doing this before putting in the video card because getting everything connected after the video card is a pain in the absolute butt. So best to do all that before putting in the video card. Yay, all the sparkly lights. Those aren't spinning. Oh, I gotta connect all of you. They light up, but they don't spin. Okay, since the lighting works, the fans spin, this mess needs to get taken care of before I put the big honking video card in. I need to do some cleanup on this mess here. Mount these and everything because I'm gonna need to put this on the back of, well, its back, so I can put in the video card confidently and properly without breaking anything. Yeah, so I'm probably just gonna do that right after this. So apparently we got a whole bunch of lightning going on. Hopefully we don't lose power, but apparently there's a good light show. So let's go check that out. Whoa, whoa, non-stop.
Getting over top of the sound. Did the tornado warning was coming this way?
The birds are not happy. Jesus.
Can you see Slender Man?
I see something over there.
Oh, no, that looks weird.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Let's see. You guys finally bring me out here just to get hit by a tornado? Something I've been worried about for a damn long time. I'm assuming they have sirens and whatnot here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a wall cloud. That's what eventually turns into a tornado. I'm sure you know, sorry. I'm somewhat saying it for the video as well. That is moving fast, too. Look at it. It's moved all the way over there now.
Yeah. More winds there.
We've got a separation line here. Definitely wall cloud.
There it comes.
It's the rain right now. Holy balls.
Sit downstairs. You close the garage door?
Yeah. I was saying to Fro, did you guys invite me here just to have me encounter a tornado? Get hit by a tornado? Think something I've been worried about for a long time? And of course we can't keep an eye on the storm now.
No. I'm trying to go back up and look.
Oh man. Oh, is that covered at all?
Yeah, but it blows right in. Well, it sounds risky.
Yeah. Illinois hospitality. So during the storm, we continued working on the machine. Wasn't able to do any sort of audio here because we had TVs in the background, but we got the video card installed, got everything fired up, and then we tried to actually start the machine on the previous iteration of Windows. Unfortunately, that did not work. We tried getting into BIOS and changing around some settings and flashing that, see if that would fix anything, but no, we weren't able to recover the old version of Windows. So we had to go ahead and reinstall a new copy of Windows, which takes a while. So lovely montage as we do this, because if you've ever had to do this, you know you have to go through all these setup steps and then the eventual, all of the updates. Once we got all of that done though, we're using my Wacom as a monitor there, so we didn't have to use his. We did all of the stress testing, all of the temperature testing, and it came out wonderful. It runs a little hotter than you would typically like, but as you can see right here, it does look quite nice. I couldn't get a better camera angle, pardon all the dirt on the side mirror and my bare feet, but it is a nice looking machine, and my dad ended up being really happy with it. Okay, job's done. I got a 12-hour drive ahead of me again, so let's get maps going and get started. Finally got my first rest stop. Whew. After nearly 6 hours, I guess. You might be able to see over my shoulder. It looks rather stormy over there. Guess which direction we're headed. West Virginia. Mountain Mama. Take me home. It's raining. It's starting to rain decently hard, and as soon as I said that, it started backing off. But the road is flooding. Awesome. And there's a dude driving behind me right now that's going to pull up on my left-hand side that's driving without headlights. And speeding in this. Okay, well, it dried up, thankfully. And we made it to a gas stop. This gas gauge, once you start hitting a quarter of a tank, you can't trust it. And we were gonna, you know, towards a quarter of a tank. So, yay! I will say, going through those mountain passes in the rain, surrounded by trucks, car wiggling, not fun. Okay, well, I made it home. Oh, it's about 12 hours, 45 minutes. Oh, long drive, stressful drive. Got to get this car sorted. I've got to go unload the car, and it's trash night, so I got to go do that. But if you've enjoyed this, go ahead and leave me a like. Drop a comment if you got something to say. And maybe subscribe if you haven't yet. Catch the next ones. And I'll see you in the next one.